3 months after her daughter overdosed on heroin.
It's just heartbreaking.
Rose Bailey still hasn't touched much in the house where it happened.
I knew she was up there. Part of me was hoping, and part of me knew. She was laying on the floor, holding her phone. She'd been gone a couple of days, actually.
She says 32-year-old Gina had been in trouble for years, but no one knew just how bad it was.
She was never ever honest. You're never going to get honesty from a heroin addict.
The last thing this mother expected her daughter to become.
She was kind, and she was funny.
Growing up in Kewanee, Bailey says Gina attended Mass every Sunday. She worked at a local restaurant.
I can remember 8 or 9 years ago hearing about the very first heroin overdose in that town, and then another, and then another. And actually I can remember Gina saying, "What were they thinking? What were they thinking?" She was actually appalled.
But years later, her mom says heroin had Gina firmly in its grip.
So I believe that she first probably started on pills, Xanax.
Graduating to the more affordable and available heroin.
And I believe she trusted the wrong people.
Hiding her addiction from her family.
I'd never actually seen her messed up. I never saw her in such a way.
Instead, she says she thought Gina was sick or stressed.
And when I first heard that she was doing heroin, I called her and I confronted her and I said, "You know, talk to me, tell me, is this true?" And she said, "Yes, it's true, but I've stopped." And it was several years ago. I stopped and I'm good.
Bailey says she wanted to believe, talking to her daughter just days before she died.
She had a job interview. She felt so positive. She said, "I love you. We're going to make it through this." And I said, "I love you too."
It was the last conversation the two would have.
When I think about the pain that she must have went through that day and her emotional being and where she was at, it breaks my heart.
Her heart, and she says the hearts of Gina's 3 kids, all of them left behind, still working to move forward. In Davenport,
We're beyond devastated.
Elizabeth Goodsit, KWQC TV6 News.
We're all in.
Sheriff John Simonton says too many heroin deaths in Dixon and Lee County
We've all heard about the heroin epidemic.
have law enforcement officers and prosecutors getting creative when it comes to combating the drug.
We've historically done some very good investigations trying to get to the dealers to stop the supply coming into various communities. However, that doesn't seem to be working as well. And so either the dealers and the traffickers are getting much smarter, or there's just a lot more out there.
More people are being arrested and sent to jail, many more than just once.
And we're really not doing much for them. We're arresting them, they're going through the process and going right back out in the street, and they're fulfilling their addiction again. And so they're going to be right back here.
The sheriff says soon addicts can come here to his office or the police station. They won't get arrested. Instead, they'll get treatment.
If they want to come in voluntarily, turn in their drugs and paraphernalia, they won't have to worry about being charged.
This program, based on the first of its kind Angel Initiative out of Gloucester, Massachusetts.
We wanted the police department to be one of the safe havens that you could walk in when you're ready.
Since it started June 1st, the police chief there says 28 people have been placed in treatment. The sheriff here says he sees a big impact to the community.
I hope it's huge, because we certainly don't want to have any more deaths based on overdose. It's very sad to see. Most of these are young folks that have a bright future ahead of them.
But there are challenges ahead. Specifically, the sheriff says getting treatment centers on board, making beds available.
The short-range treatment centers are full, and they don't have a lot of clinicians on staff, and with the budget cuts right now, everybody's kind of in that unknown area. Where are we going to be in the next few months?
He says he'd like to see the program up and running in months by the end of August or early September.
The longer we wait, the longer they have time to think about, well, do I really want to do this or not? And if they're ready and they've made that conscious decision, we want to make sure that we're ready as well.
He says the sooner the program starts, the sooner lives can be saved. In Dixon, Elizabeth Goodsit, KWQC TV6 News.